Hi, I'm Skate with Destructoid, and this is Nathan with 3D Live, and I'm here to talk to you today about your technology that you're doing in this Mass Effect review.
Sweet, sweet.
So, nice to meet you too. So I'm curious how you started in this business, how you started your company.
Actually, we started as a band in kind of the underground music scene in Los Angeles. So my business partner Ryan over there, basically we started creating virtual shows, like it was like a experimental electronic punk kind of mix of music, and we felt that there needed to be more physicality. We didn't want to be compared with all those DJs out there that are just going like this and pushing play. And so we felt like, if you don't have a drummer, you don't have some physicality on stage, you need something to pull energy out of the audience. So at the time, the company we were with was developing this LED for Michael Jackson's "This Is It" tour. And sadly he died and no one got to see the tech. So then basically we saw that tech and we're like, look, what they were even going to use it for, it didn't even look awesome at all. It was nowhere on the level of Michael Jackson. So I went and talked to the CEO of that company. I was like, look, I'd like to take that tech and enhance it, figure out ways to make virtual environments for performers that can interact with the visuals can interact with the music, and it sort of can be this connection with the audience that can jump across the barrier of the stage. So we actually built this prototype show. We played it down at the Smell in Los Angeles. It was like a crazy rave punk show. It was like a punk rave show. It was wild and like smelly and sweaty, but it was great. And we got some press from it. We ended up meeting Daft Punk and performing privately for them in like a warehouse. It was the coolest experience ever. And then we knew we had something, like, okay, let's take this further. So we started just really working in the R&D and developing tools to create better interaction with these virtual environments, working with game engines, and that kind of spurred us into doing a couple concerts. We did a tour with Primus. You guys remember that band from like the 90s,
yeah.
dude? Like those guys are awesome. Les Claypool's, he's crazy, genius, and we did a couple tours with them and helped us launch our company. The patent was issued for the technology about 2 years ago. So from there we just have been like, okay, well, how can we further get involved in interactivity where you're kind of creating a Tupac experience without like a piece of glass that a 2D reflection is on. Like instead we can actually bring something out off the screen, have it interact with the performer or the audience, and so next thing you know, we're approached by the theme park. We started showing people the tech we were developing, and we met the guys at BioWare and Electronic Arts, and we came up with a concept of how to take this theater and transform it and bring in new tech. So we were always out meeting other technology companies. So we met with the Crescendo guys down at UC San Diego. They're building some really dope sound stuff that's like waveform beaming technology, combining that with atmospheric, like 70 channels of surround sound, like all of that stuff combined. We're audio guys, so we always want to make sure we do a project. Audio tends to always be the last thing that people think about. We wanted to make sure that audio was one of the first things we thought about. Combining that with our LED technology, combining that with the Unreal Engine, because we're really big on game engine development. We build a lot of VR stuff and augmented reality stuff. So we wanted to bring those together with Halon, which is a spectacular movie creation team. They came right off of Star Wars and started on this project. It's wild. And then some friends do costuming. And really, we were pulling everybody we knew. We were like, there was a crazy group of kids up here building this thing, and it came out, man. It finished. Really excited about it.
You said people bled when they made.
Oh man, my blood is everywhere in this building. Like, oh yeah, cuts, and so much truss in there, like fabricating all the scenic surround. Like it's all like these very thin sheets of aluminum with like plastic in them, and they're just like razors. So we literally were hanging. I probably have like cancer in my lungs from the asbestos in the ceilings. I mean, who knows? Like, I went into the guts of this theater. I'm just kidding. There's no cancer in my lungs. Just for the record, I don't have cancer, but I know of. But yeah, so we just all like, I pulled 3 days without any sleep on this. I've been here for 4 months straight, like pissing off my girlfriend, just not being home. at all. But it was for a good cause. Like, we're really passionate about it.
Awesome. And you said you're working on keeping it from people getting motion sick, because I know I have a huge issue with getting motion sick.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the biggest things with 3D out there is like, and that's what we focus on in our company is 3D gets a really bad rap because you go to a movie. I mean, you ask most people, and like, do you like 3D movies? And they'll mostly say no, they're terrible and they're awful. And you ask people if they like VR, and they're like, yeah, it's freaking amazing. And it's like, well, those both are 3D. They're both stereo. So what you're experiencing is really poorly made 3D movies. That the people who are conceptualizing the movie and the experience have no idea the biological effect of a stereo viewing experience can have if it's done poorly, because you're basically controlling people's ocular muscles, messing with their visual cortex. And if you don't understand that, you're going to be like, oh, that was terrible, like, you know, Piranha, or whatever, even though it's a great movie because it's ridiculous, but it's terrible. I mean, there's a lot of movies out there that are just awful. So when we go into the project, we're like, okay, we know what's happening biologically. We know how to play with the audience in a way where we can take you right to the edge and not like rip your eyes out of your head or make your eyes go too crossed or do this kind of thing. There's a lot of films where that's just happening throughout the entire thing, and you're like, well, I think it's just 3D. You're looking at 3D right now. Everyone is, and you're not nauseous. Like, if you know what you're doing, you know how to play with the tools and the technology and push the boundaries, you can make something spectacular that's immersive, like VR, without having someone have to close themselves off to the world in a VR headset. And so what this is like a new form of augmented reality where you can look at your friend next to you, you can hold your friend's hand and still be in an immersive experience that's unique and different every time. Thank you.
I must say it was wonderful too. Like, it looked real and it did not make me feel sick at all. So, compared to seeing Avatar in 3D where I almost vomited, I mean, definitely a huge step up from that. So,
well, yeah, now we got to get with James and take Avatar to the LED world.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Do you guys have any plans on extending this ride?
It's been kicked around. Okay. I don't know. We'll see. It'd be really amazing if that happened.
Yeah, I love that. Okay. Well, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, good to meet you too, man.
And if you're looking for any more videos on Destructoid, go to Destructoid.com for all your gaming needs.